Hello everyone, my name is Yuri Kasdorp from Mouse, and we're back with another track guide. And as you can see this time, it's wet. We are in Portugal, Portimao, and also here it rains sometimes. 88% of the time to be exact. So big chance that this week will be wet. And the track is quite tricky in the wet, but a lot of fun as well. There's a couple of rain lines we have to take, a couple times where you can just stay on the dry line. So let's get into the lap guide and see where we drive what lines. Hello everyone, so here we are in the last sector as usual. And it's a very, very wet Portimao. And I'm struggling in a lot of places to see exactly where the dry line is, which means what line to avoid, which makes it quite tricky. So we're not just running the dry line here in the wet, it's wet enough that we actually have to drive off the dry line in some places. Turn one, just keep it easy. Try to avoid the curb here as much as you can. Same here for the braking. And then here's the first corner where I like to go off the racing line. I go a bit wider, a bit more grip. And I'm braking normally on the racing line here. But we go a bit wide on the apex for a bit more grip. Then we get to a really tricky part where I like to be a bit wide and cut to the inside. And brake on the inside here. And all the way right here. And wait for the car to grip, it will. And slowly follow the inside here. Again, I like to run a bit wide here. Back on the racing line. A bit wide at the apex. And similar thing here, a bit wide at the apex. And cut back to the inside a bit. And you'll feel the moment you get onto the dry line, the car understeers. And then we have a lap around Portimao in the wet. Let's have a closer look from the outside. Right, so here we are from the outside cam to have a closer look. And as usual in these wet lap guides, I don't like to focus exactly on the braking point because it changes a lot when the track condition changes a tiny bit. The track goes quite a bit faster or slower sometimes depending on how much rain there is. And the same thing on this track I feel like for what line we take. Sometimes you'll get away with some corners taking the racing line when it's a bit drier. But when it's too wet, you have to start avoiding the racing line in more and more places. So for turn one, in these conditions, I like to just take the racing line. I think it has to be very, very wet if you want to brake from the inside because we're not braking that hard. Slowly bring the car to the inside. And I went a bit deep on the curb here. The curb is very, very slippery. So the moment I go on the curb, I go off the throttle almost completely. Bring it back to the inside. And then again, if you want to brake all the way on the inside, there is a bit more grip. But you have to sacrifice your line so much that it's not really worth it, at least in these conditions. And the car to the inside again. And then this is the first corner where I like to avoid the dry line. You can see here the bit lighter part is where the rubber is down. And where the rubber is down, there's less grip in the wet. So we want to have just around this outside. I want to turn the car so that when I get to this point here where I get to the lighter part, I've already done most of the corner, I can go flat out quicker. Then again, braking, I'm doing on the racing line here. There's not enough grip loss that I want to brake all the way on the inside. But I do want to avoid the apex here where it's super light on the inside to have a bit more grip around the outside. Have a bit better exit. And here I just take the racing line because it's easily flat. And then we get to what I think is the trickiest corner combination, especially when it's wet. If I'm braking on the left side, all the way the left side to close to the curb, there's almost no grip. So what I like to do is come from the outside, cross over the inside, and have at least 2 tires on the inside of the dry line here. So that when I'm braking, I have a bit more grip. And then we take the normal racing line. And then where you can see the dry line here, it's very, very low on grip, also because all the water goes down the hill. So what we want to do is go a bit more straight and then turn late and use this line on the outside here, where there's only a lot more grip than it will be on the racing line. So you see here, I go around this inside, and this point here, there's a lot more grip than it will be on the inside. Then we just keep it tight along the inside here. Very easy to go very deep. I want to do a similar thing here, go a bit wider than the inside, but we don't have to go as wide here. Small braking here. I like to avoid the complete inside here for a bit more grip. Then the same thing for second to last corner. I like to avoid the complete inside for a tiny bit more grip. Straight to the Algarve, and you'll feel once you get to the inside here, it's not really possible to keep it all the way around the outside, I think. Once you get to the inside here, you start to lose a bit of grip, and the car wants to understeer to the outside curb, so you have to be careful. And then last corner again. Drive just around this inside dry line, and you'll be able to go back on power a lot quicker. And that's a very tricky lap and a very wet Portimao. Alright, so there we go. Quite tricky track. Very cool lines we have to take in some spots, I think. The rain and iRacing is absolutely amazing. Good week to train the rain a bit if you haven't done so far. If you want to see more videos like this, you will have to wait till next iRacing season. Whole season completed again. Next iRacing season, we will be there, and I hope you will be too.